friends, welcome to my channel Decoding English with Dr. Manpreet. Today we are going to discuss the novel The Outsider by Albert Camus. Now in my previous video we discussed the first part of the novel and in this video I am going to take up the second part. इस वीडियो में हम इस नॉवल का सेकंड पार्ट डिस्कस करेंगे जो कि मर्सो के ट्रायल के बारे में है. When the trial starts about Merso's case and Merso is arrested. Now when part 2 starts we see that Merso had been arrested and he is told to ascertain his identity. उनकी आइडेंटिटी के बारे में पूछा जाता है and he is taken into interrogation. उनको बार बार इंटेरोगेट किया जाता है. जो भी सर्कमस्टांसेस थे जिस वजह से उनसे मर्डर हुआ था वो सारा जो है केस के बारे में उनसे बात की जाती है. And when he is interrogated he is reminded of the interrogations which he had been reading about in the books. And the lawyer also meets him in the cell and the lawyer is disturbed by the answers that Merso gives him in response to the questions. जो क्वेश्चंस लॉयर पूछते हैं और उनका जो मर्सो रिस्पॉन्स देते हैं लॉयर उनसे बहुत ज़्यादा डिसअपॉइंट होते हैं बिकॉज ही टॉक्स अबाउट हिज फीलिंग्स एट मेमन्स फ्यूनरल. उनकी माँ के जो फ्यूनरल के बारे में वो उन्हें बताते हैं. सो लॉयर इज़ वेरी मच डिस्टर्ब बाय दैट बिकॉज मर्सो behaves like a feelingless person, a person without any feelings. And Merso also refuses to say that he has not repressed his natural feelings. So इस तरह की जो बातें हैं वो लॉयर को डिस्टर्ब करती हैं. And he is also bothered by the fact that why Merso hesitated between the first shot and the following 4 shots. क्योंकि पहले उन्होंने एक बार गोली मारी और उसके बाद 4 गोलियां और मारी थी मर्डर के टाइम पर. तो इस बात को लेकर भी लॉयर काफ़ी डिस्टर्ब है बिकॉज इट लुक्स लाइक अ प्लान्ड मर्डर बिकॉज ही गिव्स अ पॉज इन बिटवीन. And when the case comes to the magistrate comments that Merso is the most hardened soul of any criminal he has met. जिस तरह से उनका बिहेवियर है, जिस तरह से वो बातचीत करते हैं, तो मैजिस्ट्रेट भी कहते हैं कि ऐसा जो क्रिमिनल है हमने ऐसा पहले कभी नहीं देखा. एंड मर्सो हैज़ ऑल्सो अ डिफिकल्ट टाइम रियलाइजिंग दैट ही हैज़ कमिटेड अ क्राइम बिकॉज इट वॉज अनइंटेंशनल. सो ये चीज़ उनको खुद पे यकीन नहीं था कि उन्होंने ऐसा कुछ भी किया है. एंड नाउ मर्सो इज accompanied by his lawyer time and again and most of the time he is left out of conversation. जो इनका लॉयर है और जो प्रोसिक्यूशन है वो दोनों आपस में बातें करते हैं और मर्सो को लगता है that he is left out of all this. Now Merso is put in the prison with a bunch of people who are mostly Arabs. उनको जेल में डाला जाता है जहाँ ज़्यादातर जो लोग हैं जो क्रिमिनल्स हैं वो अरब्स हैं और वो लोग बहुत ज़्यादा हंस रहे हैं, मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं. बट व्हेन दे कम टू नो फ्रॉम मर्सो दैट ही इज देयर इनसाइड द सेल बिकॉज ऑफ किलिंग एन अरब दे सडनली बिकम वेरी क्वाइट एंड दे स्टार्ट विस्परिंग अमंग देमसेल्व्स. कुछ दिनों बाद जो है मर्सो को एक अलग सेल में, एक अलग कमरे में शिफ्ट कर दिया जाता है विद अ वुडन प्लैंक टू स्लीप ऑन and a barred window which faces the sea. Mary comes to visit him time and again. Mary जो उनकी फ्रेंड है उनको मिलने आती है बीच बीच में. और एक दिन जब मैरी आती है तो आसपास बहुत ज़्यादा शोर है और वो लोग आपस में बात नहीं कर पाते हैं. They can hardly listen to each other. Merso is also attending to other inmates and their relatives who are there to talk to them. Finally, Mary is told to leave, and when she leaves, she assures Merso that he will come out of the jail and then they will again go swimming and get married. To which Merso is little uncertain. Merso को इस बात पर यकीन नहीं था कि वो जेल से बाहर सही सलामत आ पाएंगे या नहीं. Then after some time he receives a letter from Mary which explains that she can no longer visit the jail because she is not his wife. So इस वजह से वो जेल आना कुछ टाइम के लिए बंद कर देती हैं. And the first few months in the jail were very bad because Merso was a free bird. He was in the practice of going for swimming, for fun, for movies and going around. And here in the prison he felt like a very confined kind of atmosphere. And so what he looked forward now was just looking for walks or the lawyer visits, because now he started thinking like a prisoner. Earlier he was thinking like a free bird and that thing bothered him. लेकिन धीरे धीरे उनको जेल में रहना आ गया. And he also desired a woman and he shared it with one of the head guard who told him that women and cigarettes, these kinds of things are barred in the jail. ये जो है आपकी punishment का हिस्सा है. So that's why you can't just have women like this. So the main problem for Merso now was killing time. He couldn't kill time. Time इतना ज़्यादा था, उनको समझ नहीं आता था how to utilize that. And soon he was able to know and he was able to channelize it by sleeping in the prison. And now he slept more and he started rereading the Czechoslovakian newspapers and all these kinds of things by which time passed to some extent. And Merso had heard that one loses track of time when you are in a prison, but he didn't know that 5 months had been passed. उनको पता ही नहीं चला 5 महीने बीत गए, और जब उनको बताया गया तो उनको पूरी तरह से यकीन भी नहीं हुआ. Now his trial was set for the end of the June, और जून के एंड में जब उनकी ट्रायल शुरू होती है, he was very surprised to see that so many people had gathered there. And also so many journalists were there and they had built up their own stories. Merso also noticed that the jury was sitting there to look at him and they all stared at him coldly. His friends, the director of Maman's house and Mary and Raymond, ये सब जो थे ये familiar faces थे जो वहाँ पे मौजूद थे, whom Merso recognized at the time of the trial. Now the heat increases and the examination begins. उनका एग्जामिनेशन जो है वो स्टार्ट किया जाता है. जज जो है वो उनकी टेस्टिमनी को पढ़ते हैं. Merso's testimony is read and Merso agrees to each and every word, to each and every section what is read about him. And then he asks why Merso had put Maman in the home. उनको पूछा जाता है कि माँ को ओल्ड एज होम में क्यों भेजा गया था. To which he explains that he didn't have enough money. ना ही उनके पास ज़्यादा पैसे थे और ना ही वो कहते हैं कि मैं केयर कर पाता. And we also didn't need each other. It was a kind of an agreement between Merso and the mother, and they were both happy. That's what he said. And then the prosecutor asked that if he intentionally murdered the Arab, to which Merso said that no, I didn't do it intentionally, it just happened. And to which the session is adjourned. इसके बाद जो सेशन है वो adjourn किया जाता है आफ्टरनून तक. और आफ्टरनून में जो है he is testified that Merso is called. And also the director of the home is called and he is testified that Merso was very calm at the funeral. Director बताते हैं कि funeral के टाइम पे इतना ज़्यादा Merso was calm. There was no traces of sadness on his face. There was no crying. So he behaved in a very normal way, which was very unreal in today's world, you know. And then the caretaker is also called next and he also witnesses that Merso seemed not a bit upset at Maman's coffin. So he also behaved in a very normal kind of way, which was very unreal according to these people. Then the defense takes up the case next and Celeste testifies first for the Merceau. And he states that crime was just a case of bad luck. उनके जो friends हैं वो बताते हैं कि ये सिर्फ एक bad luck थी और ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक accident था which just happened. And Mary's testimony जो है उनका जो बयान है उस पर फोकस किया जाता है क्योंकि मैरी सारे फैक्ट्स बताती है जिसको जो प्रोसिक्यूटर है दूसरी तरह से लेते हैं. एंड ही सेज दैट द डे ऑफ मेमन्स फ्यूनरल Merceau had swam, he started an affair and he went to see a comedy in the cinema. So ये चीज़ें जो मैरी ने बताई उसको उन्हीं के खिलाफ लिया जाता है और इस बात को लेके मेरी जो है बहुत ज़्यादा डिस्टर्ब और अपसेट हो जाती है. एंड मेसन उनका जो फ्रेंड है ही सेज दैट Merceau was honest and decent man. सेलेमेनो जो है वो प्लीड करते हैं सबके सामने. ही रिक्वेस्ट दैट दे शुड अंडरस्टैंड द सर्कमस्टांसेस ऑफ Merceau and he was not guilty. And all of his friends, Raymond also tries to convince that Merceau was on the beach just by chance. लेकिन prosecutor कहते हैं कि सब कुछ chance नहीं हो सकता, that he was on the beach by chance. He wrote the letter to Raymond's girlfriend, that was also a chance, and then he killed the man, that was also a chance. So this is the case the prosecutor builds. And in the course of events, the prosecutor says that Raymond is the procurer of women and Merceau is just his accomplice. So ये कहकर इस बात की पुष्टि की जाती है. So things are not looking good as the trial is adjourned. जैसे कि ये ट्रायल खत्म होती है, things are not very favorable for Merceau. Now next, the prosecutor tries to prove that Merceau's crime was premeditated. आगे वो ये प्रूव करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि जो Merceau ने किया वो पहले से प्लान था क्योंकि Merceau बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है. And the prosecutor cries the worst of all that Merceau never felt remorse for his crime. अपने क्राइम के लिए कभी वो रोए नहीं, कभी उन्होंने उस चीज़ पे पछतावा नहीं किया. सो ये जो चीज़ें हैं उन्हीं के खिलाफ उनका यूज किया जाता है. एंड ही सेज दैट Merceau's soul is empty of man's proper moral principles. एक आदमी के जो मॉरल्स हैं या जो प्रिंसिपल्स हैं या जो सिद्धांत है उसके खिलाफ है. Merceau में ऐसी कोई क्वालिटी ही नहीं है, उन्होंने कुछ भी फीलिंग शो ही नहीं की है जिसके लिए उनको दोषी ना समझा जाए. एंड Merceau has no place in the human society since he upholds none of its rules. वो उन रूल्स में फिट ही नहीं होते और इस सोसाइटी को बिलोंग ही नहीं करते और इसलिए कहा गया कि उनको जो है डेथ पेनल्टी दी जाए बिकॉज Merceau इज अ मॉन्स्टर. सो प्रोसिक्यूटर की ये जो है उन्होंने अपना केस ऐसे प्रेजेंट किया और उसके बाद जब Merceau से पूछा गया कि why he killed the Arab, Merceau just didn't know anything and he just thinks and he says the sun and the audience laughs. Actually Merceau ने सच ही कहा था कि सन की वजह से उन्होंने मारा, but they just took it as a comedy. But actual में क्या था, जो ग्लेयर उनकी आंखों में आई थी उनकी वजह से उनसे वो गोली चल गई थी, which Merceau couldn't explain in detail. And the things were going against Merceau. Now the lawyer hit upon each point which was made by the prosecution. Lawyer ने हर चीज को हिट किया, prosecution ने जो जो कहा और उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि he remembers most from the trial that it is being dazed and hearing the outside sounds of the ice cream vendor. So जो Merceau कर रहे थे, जो वहाँ चल रहा था, Merceau का जो ध्यान है वो बाहर आइसक्रीम वेंडर की तरफ जा रहा था, उनका ध्यान ट्रायल में नहीं था. मतलब कहने का मतलब क्या है, that he was just a simple man, he was just a man inside out, he was nothing different from other people. And at the end of the speech Merceau remembers that he had forgotten about Mary. He just looks at Mary who was sitting at one side of the court, and Later on, Merso was led out of the room and wait for the jury to decide the judgment. मर्सो को बाहर ले जाते हैं कि जजमेंट पीछे से सुनाई जाएगी. He was not allowed to hear the judgment or the verdict which precedes. And बाद में जब उनको अंदर लाया जाता है, after the judgment, everyone is looking at him dazed and staring at him, and the judgment is announced that he should be beheaded in the public. लोगों के सामने पब्लिकली उनको बिहेड किया जाएगा, उनको वहाँ मौत का जो फरमान है वो सुनाया जाता है. Towards the last chapter, Merso's declaration that he has refused Chaplin 3 times. 3 बार उन्होंने चैपलिन को रिफ्यूज किया था, and he had nothing to say. उनको बार बार पूछा गया था, even after the judgment, the judge had asked कि आपको अपनी सफाई में कुछ कहना है, लेकिन मर्सो ने कुछ भी कहा नहीं था. So what he does care about escaping the machinery of this execution. वो सिर्फ ये सोच रहे थे कि किसी तरह इस एग्जीक्यूशन से निकल जाए या किसी और तरह की एग्जीक्यूशन उनको दी जाए, which would be a little better kind of execution. And then he started figuring out कि ज़्यादातर जो executions है, they are done at dawn, and maybe the executors will come in the dawn and they would take him away for the execution. So these are the kinds of thoughts which kept haunting in his mind. Now in one of these hours when he was thinking about these things, and then he was actually thinking about Mary, Chaplin visited him, and the chaplain was very gentle, and the chaplain was very nice, when he talked to Merso, because Merso had refused him, and Chaplin again answers that he doesn't believe in God, and explaining that Merso says that it was not so important. He didn't actually believe in God, and these things were very blunt to Chaplin. उनको ये चीज़ें बहुत अजीब लगती हैं, and he addresses Merso as his friend, but Merso doesn't take that consolation. वो उनकी consolation नहीं लेते हैं, and he states that he would face death as it is approaching, कि वो death को face करेंगे. And Chaplin is very upset at his behavior, how he's behaving at this time. Merso agrees that he wishes for a life that he could remember. Now, towards the end, the last paragraph, we see that Merso is, we can see the changed behavior in the personality of Merso. And he wishes for a life that he would remember for the times to come. The chaplain promises that he would pray for him, and Merso just snaps him. He just holds his collar and he yells at him. पूरी जोर से उस पर चिल्लाते हैं, and Merso says that he may only have death to wait for. He says that I'll take death, however it is, I just will take it, because he says that he had made his own choices. जो उनके साथ हुआ उनकी मर्जी से हुआ है, किसी ने उन पर थोपा नहीं है. So that's what he says, and we see that he is a changed man towards the end. He is the kind of character what Camus would wish for. And towards the end, Merso also thinks about Mammon, his mother, for the last time before he is hanged. And the final consummation, when his end comes, he just hopes that when he is taken for being beheaded, he just wishes that a crowd is there who are a hating spectator. He wants that पूरा crowd हो जो कि एक hating spectators का crowd हो, पूरी तरह से उनको hate कर रहा हो when he is there at the execution, because he feels that then he would feel less alone. उनको लगता है कि उस time उनको loneliness feel नहीं होगी. So towards the end we see that Camus has written this novel in which he talks about the character who believes in having a life which is meaningful without the fear of God. इस वजह से मीनिंगफुल लाइफ नहीं होनी चाहिए कि हम गॉड से डरते हैं, बल्कि इस वजह से होनी चाहिए बिकॉज हम चाहते हैं. So we should live for that. And only man is responsible for his living. And in this novel, we see that Meursault has been transformed into the type of hero that Camus has been looking for. Meursault comes to terms with the absurdity of life. Life के बारे में वो देखते हैं, absurdity के बारे में देखते हैं, and he looks at the nothingness of death, which the hero is prepared to face them consequently. Let's have a look at the quick highlights of the novel. First of all, we see that there is psychological depth in the novel. We can see Meursault's growth in the novel. In the beginning, Meursault's approach is very different, and as the novel progresses, Meursault also changes, and towards the end we notice that he is a totally changed character. Now this novel is written in pre-World War Algeria. Randomness and the violence and the death, which was prevalent at that time. These are the characteristics we can see in the novel. There is randomness of violence and there is portrayal of death, which Camus has brought up in the novel. Next we see the emptiness of social morality. Social morality की जो emptiness है, there is no social morality. People are so materialistic. That is very much prevalent in the novel, and the absurd aspects of the humans is also shown in the novel. The absurdity is a very important trait which has been brought up here. Then Camus' approach in the novel is practical, without any sermons. He gives a very practical approach. जो भी कहा जा रहा है बड़ा प्रैक्टिकली कहा जा रहा है. जो एक इंसान को फील हो रहा है वो ही चीजें कामू उस कैरेक्टर, उस प्रोटैगनिस्ट के द्वारा हमें बता रहे हैं. And he is not giving any sermons. There is no didactism in the novel, and he is highlighting the meaning of death. Towards the end, we understand that only death matters. That is the ultimate goal of life. We are all heading towards death. इसके अलावा जिंदगी में कुछ भी नहीं है. And last but not the least, the changing dynamic opinion of Meursault. Changing opinion, कैसे नॉवल में वो चेंज होते हैं टाइम टू टाइम. A man who is unable to transcend the absurdity of life. He can't come out of the absurdity of life because he is a very down-to-earth character, I would say, or the true character. I mean, what he is inside, he is outside. He doesn't know vagaries in the life, how the characters vary, and he is unable to transcend this absurdity and the everyday existence. And so Camus also states in one of his interviews that Meursault is the true type of Christ figure which we should have. जैसे कि क्राइस्ट को क्रूसीफाई कर दिया गया था क्योंकि वो सच में बिलीव करते थे. As he was crucified because he was believing in truth, so Meursault is also crucified towards the end of the novel. So thank you so much. Thank you for listening.